this is Dylan of EG2, and I'm joined by my buddy Chris.
Hello.
And we're kicking off a first in a series of tech and tools where we showcase products that we're going to be using in our projects. Today we're going to be unboxing the Epsilon 3D printer. I'm actually super excited about this. I ordered this 4 months ago. Took a lot longer to get here than I expected, and then it's been sitting here for 2 weeks as we've set up our filming equipment, getting ready for this unboxing. So with that said, we're going to hop right into it.
Let's do it.
The Epsilon arrived in a massive box. Getting it into position to film was a two-person job. Now, the entire box was secured pretty well on a pallet, and the printer appeared to be held in place with plenty of foam. But despite that, we did encounter a few issues on first startup related to shipping. Even though the packaging made the printer seem deceptively huge, the actual size was still pretty impressive once we got it unboxed. One of the reasons we picked up this machine is actually due to its massive build volume, which is 16.5 in width, 11.8 in depth, and 15.8 inches in height. Now, there are a number of printers on the market that can build in similar heights, but the Epsilon was one of the few to reach over 13 inches in the X and Y plane, which makes it ideal to print items like dash bezels, taillights, and other parts that print better flat than on end. Additionally, this printer uses an independent dual extruder system, known as IDEX, that keeps the print head not in use out of the way, resulting in better prints when utilizing both heads. While the printer is a bit slower than many single extruder printers due to the extra mass, you can often make up for it when printing multiple parts, as you can run the printer in what's called mirror duplication mode, which allows you to print with both heads simultaneously, so long as you're printing the same part from both. Now, we've yet to test this printer with some of the more exotic materials, but the Epsilon was designed with exotics in mind. The included hot ends can reach up to 300 degrees Celsius, and the build plate up to 120 degrees Celsius. Together, and with the help of the machine's fan to regulate, they can passively maintain the enclosure temperature of about 60 degrees Celsius. I will say that this machine's a lot louder than I expected it to be, as the system fan is always running, even when the bed or hot ends aren't being heated. In the future, I'd like to see BCN introduce a passive mode that allows the machine to stay on, but not power the fan when the machine's not actively being used, because when you turn the machine off, you also lose cloud connectivity. Though the machine is beautifully designed, at nearly $8,000, the cost is substantial, and it'll put this machine out of reach for many home users. Alright, looks like the printer's doing a little bit of self-calibration or getting ready for us to do. So this is a automatically assisted print surface, which means that the printer's going to do some self-calibration, but then we're also going to have to use these manual screws here to get it balanced left to right so that both hot ends are at the right distance from the surface. We haven't had the machine long enough to really make a judgment call if it's actually worth the money. While similar quality can be obtained with less expensive machines, our hope is that this one remains consistent in the long run and remains relatively maintenance-free. Now, despite the great user experience and documentation, there were a few issues in getting the printer set up. First, the machine comes with two purge tanks, one on the left side and one on the right side. And at some point during shipping, one of the purge tanks had become bent, so upon first startup, the build plate as it raised up actually contacted one of these purge tanks. We had to shut off the machine, remove the purge tank, and bend the mounting tab back to straight, and after that, there was no more contact. The second issue we had is that the bed's auto-leveling process was causing the left extruder to hit the build plate during height probing, and as it turned out, movement during shipping also caused the XY gantry alignment to skew forward, meaning that the left extruder was further back than the right. Now, BCN3D was quick to reply to my support ticket and provided photos and procedures on how to correct this. Once those calibration issues were fixed, we printed some test objects, including a couple of benchy boats and one printed calibration plate. We printed these in the provided silver PLA and used BCN's version of Cura with the recommended settings. Now, I'm sure we could eke out a little bit better print quality by digging into the settings and making some tweaks, but we were actually pretty happy with the print quality out the gate. Now, one of our first shop products that we're excited for is going to be designing and printing a bracket to hold our Fuel Lab fuel filter and AN lines for a small block Chevy engine, which we'll probably prototype in PLA and then do the final print in something a little bit tougher. And we're super excited to see how that print turns out. All in all, we're happy with our first experience with the Epsilon. As we begin printing prototype and end-use parts, we'll be sure to follow up this tech and tools video and do a more in-depth review of the Epsilon. That wraps up our first look at BCN3D's Epsilon. If you enjoyed the video, send us a like. If you have any questions about the printer, leave a comment below. And if you'd like to see how we use it in our 72C10 shop project or one of our customers' 69 SS El Caminos, go ahead and subscribe. And we'll catch you next time.